Okay, that was a really exciting King's Gambit. I think I feel a bit more awake after that. So there's 3 decisions actually, 3 options tonight for the KingsCrusher radio show, which has been rescheduled for tonight at around 9 o'clock on the PlayChess.com server. More towel games, or cover some of the Iranian wins not yet covered, or have a look at how the women's world champion, she's leading Gibraltar along with Adams. What would you prefer? Please leave your vote in the comments of this video. So if there's 3 choices for the hour or more to spend tonight looking at 5 or 6 key games, shall we look at the women's world champion who beat Judith Polgar? She beat Judith Polgar in one of her wins, and she also beat this 2700, the top Vietnam player Quang. So she's leading Gibraltar. There's a few games of hers which should be very interesting. Or we could look at more towel games from say 1956 onwards, or as I say, we can look at some Iranian games not yet covered. So please leave your votes in the comments for this video. While we're waiting as well now, shall we we'll look at a master game, a blitz game. All the grandmasters they're usually playing blitz. So Kitty 1510, what is Kitty 1510 playing? A 3-minute game. I think maybe it's fascinating, really, isn't it, that there's a lot of title players on the ICC that just play endless blitz just for relaxation and fun, and they've achieved very good results on the longer games, and blitz is really testing intuition. But as I say, from the perspective of doing commentary videos, I really prefer myself at the moment. Even if engine users were say 1 in 5, even if I could prove it otherwise, I still prefer the live commentary. This screen's too big for the 15-minute, engine users aside, because I think the 15-minute is also good for longer game practice. And I do think, I'm in bad habits from extreme forms of blitz, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. So probably bad habit. So I'm hoping, to sort of, it seems to be paying off so far in my club chess recently. I think I've won 3 out of my last 4 since the new regime of 15-minute. So this has been a good year so far. I feel a bit more confident on the longer games at the moment. Okay, so we'll play this Scheveningen type system, I think. Change from the French defences. At 2-1-4-4 now, after that last win. 2-1-4-4. Mind you, the next Golders Green rapid play will be FIDE rated. So when we say FIDE rating from now on, you're going to have to start qualifying that for FIDE long game rating or FIDE rapid ratings. So if I played in that Golders Green, it's tempting to get a FIDE rapid rating anyway. So knight BD7 here, just to try and hinder E5, just in case. B5 and bishop B7 look, as usual, quite tempting in this sort of position. How's this guy been doing recently? I hope it's not strings of wins in a row. No. Okay, 5 minutes and 15-minute. Okay, cool. So the score here, if I play B5, bishop B7, knight C5, put pressure on E4. There was also, by the way, a lot of German analysis I'd done. Oh, hold on, I can't play B5 now. What about rook B8 first then? Let's see if it plays A4. Also knight B6 to C4. If it plays B3, maybe bishop D7. Looks artificial, the knight in front of the pawn. So I think B6 maybe, but then E5 and knight C6 looks a bit embarrassing. So am I in trouble already? What about knight C5, A5, bishop D7? Whoa, e5 looks appalling. b6 looks relatively appalling. But if we just check this out for a moment, b6, e5 takes knight c6. So initially it looks like a total disaster zone. So the real question is, is it a total disaster? Okay. If I played e takes that, check, I'd be a piece down, and there wouldn't be much. So I think I will play knight c6 here. Knight c5. Why don't you do b4? Oh dear. Going back to this artificial looking knight b6 now. Maybe that's to play d5. Maybe it's justified to play d5. I might have gone wrong somewhere here. What about rook e8? It's a5. Rook e8 doesn't seem that bad. So maybe play knight f8 to g6 later, bishop d7. Okay, there's a5 ceiling b6. So I think rook e8. Just get this knight to f8 out of the way rather than here, because then b4. So knight f8, bishop d7, knight g6. Yeah, what was I saying? This adjournment analysis on the Monday. I thought I was going to have this adjournment on Monday. And there is more than half an hour's worth of adjournment analysis. I wasn't sure to upload that. It's quite dull. Wasn't really for entertainment. But, maybe it's of interest. I'm tempted. Please let me know what you think about that sort of video. Tons of adjournment analysis, which I would have to sort of remember to play. b4, so he's weakening the c file. So actually d5? Ed bishop b4. How does he defend that? d5 looks great here after b4. Wow, that seems a fine opportunity. Maybe I'm mistaken. Knight d5 to knight d5, protecting the bishop, attacking the queen. He just weakened c3, weakness of the last move. He's weakened c3 with b4. And white usually has to be wary on the c file generally. And this might actually be useful for e3 later. So ed bishop b4, knight e2, knight d5. At least just looks good. Unless I'm mistaken. So if he plays the retreat move, knight d e2, okay, we've got a position where I can play e takes d now, with pressure on the e file. The pawn's blocking in the bishop. Maybe there's knight e4 on the cards. Knight d5 though, knight d2. So I think I'll play ed. It liberates the position more. Knight d5 does knight d5. And I'm on that bishop as well. It might be rook c5 and bishop c5 if he's not careful. So here, that looks good. My position's a lot more active now. How about queen a5 here? Queen a5. Or rook e3, there's rook b4. I think queen a5, rook b4, queen b4, knight d5 is knight d5 protecting the queen. I think queen a5 looks good. Any other moves worth considering? d4 is a forcing move. Knight d5, can't see any, oh, bishop c3. d4, rook b4. I think protecting this. Bishop c3, clearly knight c3. I'm not sure. Knight e4, not sure. So I think queen a5 still is my favourite. I'll go with queen a5. Blocking in that pawn as well from a5. Strengthening that pin. Maybe knight c5 next to e4. Knight c5, bishop f5. My pieces are springing into life, I hope. Ooh, knight c5 with tempo. How juicy. Knight c5. too tempting to resist playing that quickly. So queen c5 check, getting that nice dark square bishop. Ooh, rook e3 looks juicy, super juicy. Calculate it though. Rook b4 doesn't do anything. Queen d4 I can take and take on c3. Queen moves bishop c3, winning a piece. I think rook e3, forcing the move. Not strategic, I know. Not really to do with pawn structure. So it turns out rook e8 was pretty useful waiting move for b4. Oh dear, what a disaster for white. With a better position, just ruined, it seems, with b4. It shows, I don't know, the potential of the black pieces. And this bishop's got scope. In the French, you know, this wouldn't be taken for granted to have such a wonderful bishop. I know there's an isolated queen's pawn, but it's not that relevant here, is it? This isolated queen's pawn. So I can just take now. Knight takes, bishop takes. I'm attacking as knight c6 there. Whoa, maybe that's the idea. So is this worth thinking about more? Queen d4, knight d4, bishop c3, knight c6. What about just rook e8, rook a8 there, leaving the knight and pre? And there's no knight e7. So in that position, just rook a8 with the rook and pre. Okay. Preparing for these things is good emotionally, just to keep the emotions, I think, calm, stable, if you can see some of these dangerous ideas in advance, not to be taken by surprise. But otherwise I seem to be just winning a piece. So bishop takes c3 looks the best. It's the bishop was attacked anyway. So knight c6, I don't want to take, because rook b8 is also winning this one. So I think rook a8, simple and strong. He's resigned here. 2 points for that, I think. Okay, he wasn't provisional, I think. Just 2 points for that. That was a bit mean on rating. But let's have a look on overview and summary. So another Sicilian disaster. I don't normally play the Sicilian, but this is yeah. Once he lost that dark square bishop, even more dark square disaster on the cards. So knight c6, rook a8 I think is pretty good. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.